Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a general collective reading, so there are no signs attached to it. Only take it if it resonates with you in the first couple of minutes. Otherwise, go find a different video to watch. So we're going to start off with the overall context. The first card out is the Two of Cups. So I feel like this reading is talking about a particular relationship. It does not have to be romantic for you, but take that if it resonates. There's a lot of sort of energy of like a coming together. That's sort of how this is coming through within this relationship. And you also have here the reddening card, which is talking about like there's a lot happening. I feel like on a physical level, like it's coming together physically is kind of how this is feeling, or like being grounded in the physical in some way. I feel like with this card, it's talking about sort of like a lot of energy is being stirred up. And you also have here the feline, which I feel like is sort of like the main point of this reading today is that there are loose ends that are needing to be tied up. It's also coming through as being sort of like something that needs to be done that is being avoided is kind of how it's coming through. It's being avoided, perhaps on both ends, but we'll see. So that's the overall context. But we are starting off here with the conjunction card. So this is the first card, and then the last alchemy card you have is the red and the white rose. And so both of these cards were talking about how two things coming together, but instead of blending, right? Instead of it's not a compromise is what this is coming through as, but it's both of the two opposite energies existing at the same time, right? So it's kind of like they're like two opposite energies coming together, but it's not a compromise, it's not a blending. Both of those two opposites sort of exist as opposites, but come together to create some sort of new thing. So that's sort of the energy of the reading. And this card talks about that there is kind of like this tension energy within the conjunction, which I feel like is actually revealing something important, because you have here the guardian at the gate, which talks about like about to step into a new experience, and it's coming out underneath the conjunction card. So some sort of like coming together, but I feel like because the cards, the way that they're coming through, there's like a clear split where it's like so if this is the Two of Cups energy, like this is one person's energy where they're in this sort of conjunction union kind of energy and about to step into it, but I kind of feel like there's like some sort of like thing happening here. Anyway, so the next card is the Penelope Dreamweaver, and it's coming out with the Queen of Wands, the Fool, and the Ace of Wands. So this is all this like creative inspiration. I feel like whoever this one is with the Penelope Dreamweaver is like they're getting a lot of inspiration about perhaps this connection, or just in general. Like it kind of feels like they're getting a lot of like good ideas, or just like perhaps expressing that creatively here with the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Wands, or like some sort of like some sort of expression through the wands element. It kind of feels like, especially with the Penelope Dreamweaver, is like being inspired by perhaps dreams, or just like anything that's inspiring. It just kind of feels like any sort of inspiring kind of energy. It's like they're feeling very creative, perhaps. I feel like though on this side, so you have here the Journeyman coming up next. You have here the Journeyman and the Fawn, which talks about sort of natural magic and natural cycles. I feel like this one here, whoever's on this side, is connecting more with their natural magic, right? Here with the fire. So they could have fire in their chart somewhere, but it kind of feels like they're doing something that's like very enlivening to them with the reddening card, right? It's like part of their natural magic is to be in this energy. So it's kind of like they're exploring this, or they're finding some sort of inspiration within this energy that's awakening their natural magic, is how that's coming through. And with the journeyman, it feels like, so this card talks about, this is the Fool card. So this one, they have the Fool card twice, whoever's on this side. And so doesn't necessarily have to be like starting something new, but it's kind of like they're it feels like they have a solid foundation, but it's like whatever is up ahead, perhaps they are not prepared for, is kind of how it's feeling. Not that you can't, it's like the reassurance of this is that you can't really prepare for something that you don't know. But it's kind of like that's sort of like perhaps the energy that they're in, or that they're aware of this already, is that they're about to step into something new, and they know that whatever it is that they're stepping into is something that they're not prepared for, is how that's coming through today. Because what's coming out here is the against nature. I feel like on some level, this individual, whoever they are, is trying to perhaps delay something here with the against nature. It's also coming through as being like going against the flow of something. Going against the flow of something. Perhaps there is an element here of like avoiding, right? It's like avoiding something that needs to, like this guardian of the gate, avoiding sort of the next step, whatever that is. It's kind of feeling like they get stalled on this step here. Whatever that step is, it's like they're in this energy. Because what's coming up next here, so you have here the Four of Swords, which I feel like is sort of like the stalling. I don't want to say it's like they're stalling on purpose. It might not be a purposeful, intentional sort of stalling. It just feeling like perhaps their energy stalls, or something stalls where it's kind of, or it's like this is sort of coming through as being like a resting, like they need to pause on the threshold, is kind of like they can't, it's like they're having trouble getting over this one step, is how this is looking to me. And what comes out next here is the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Three of Cups. So what this represents is going to be specific to each scenario. I'm not going to go into the specifics because this is a general reading. It just feels like here with the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords, so this combination feels like they're running from something or avoiding something, or sort of like once they get to the threshold of it, they almost like go in the opposite direction, right? And it kind of leaves the other one in a stalemate, is how this comes through. It leaves the other person in a stalemate. And with the Three of Cups, so it could just be like they go off and find something that's like distracting or entertaining to do. It could be friend group as well. It was specifically coming in with like a group of friends that were I'm just gonna leave it like that. It feels like a group of friends that are kind of like not very high vibrational, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. So it's kind of like this person though, but with the Four of Swords, I feel like this is something that they are trying to heal from, because it is coming out with the Fawn, where I feel like they are becoming aware of the fact that when they try and force something that is going against the flow, it causes a tower moment with the next card coming out. The Tower. It's like when they try and do things that are against their nature, perhaps, or against like the way the energy wants to flow, it puts them in a tower moment. And I feel like this perhaps has happened enough times now that they are becoming aware of this. Because they are focused on the connection. It just kind of feels like they get stalled every time they need to take a step. It's like this part is the thing that's being delayed, is kind of how it's coming through to me. So anyways, on the other side of this, you have here 2 planet cards. So you have Uranus and Neptune. So Uranus is currently in retrograde, and it will be going direct this Saturday on the 27th of January. So that might be a significant timing element here. I feel like here as well, with the Neptune and the Uranus in retrograde, I feel like this is talking about, like, this is not trying to put any sort of judgment on this individual at all, because it's like with the against nature, it's kind of feeling to me like whatever it is that they're doing as sort of like a 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords energy, they have to go through this. It's almost like they have to go through sort of like the acting on the 7 of Swords. Like it kind of feels like maybe they're making mistakes, or it could be making mistake. It's like they have to make the mistake in order to learn from it. That's sort of what's coming through here. So it's like there should not be any sort of judgment placed on this person, because it's like they're trying, they're focused on the goal, they're trying to move towards it, but it's kind of like they're getting caught on some sort of perhaps like pattern that they have, or something that needs to go through healing, or that it's becoming like it's such a strong perhaps pattern that they have that the tower moment is necessary in order to break that pattern, if that makes sense. It's like they have to go through this. So it's not necessarily that they're choosing to go through this. It's kind of just like because of their patterning, or like the way that they have been, they have to play out this way of being in order to see that it's something that they need to learn from, is kind of how it's coming through. So it's like it is a tower energy that they have to experience. And so it's kind of like, I feel like at this, on the other side, because the Uranus card is coming up over the Singer of Intuition. And this Singer of Intuition has been so interesting to me lately, because it talks about like things that are on your path and things that are in your like the Akashic records that are slowly revealed to you over time, right? It's like kind of like you get an intuition, which is small perhaps, but that leads to it fills in like a puzzle piece kind of energy. Like, and it kind of feels like here with the Uranus cards, because this one talks about sort of like receiving like a lightning strike of inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration coming through here, but it talks about like being ready for it, and that like this Uranus energy is not something that's very dependable. It's not like something that's like sustainable over time, I should say. But it's kind of like when the lightning strikes and you're ready for it, it can be like this sort of miraculous gift kind of energy. And so it's important to just like keep working at it if you are on this side of the story, where it's like you may be getting, this person may be getting inspiration about, or inspiration or intuition about what is coming next is kind of how it's coming through. Or like what, perhaps even something about this dynamic as well. And with the Neptune card, because this talks about like mystical experiences and spirituality as well. So there's a lot of that kind of energy on this side, where it's like someone here is like going through perhaps some sort of like having some sort of like spiritual sort of receiving information, or like getting downloads, that kind of thing, seeing parts of what may be up ahead for them is kind of how that's coming through, which is interesting. And then so after the Tower, what we have right in the middle of the spread, you have the Lovers card, and then the Devil in reverse, which is so interesting. So you have the Tower, the Lovers, and the Devil in reverse. So this is sort of like, this card was right in the middle of the spread. So it's kind of looking to me like these two energies, this relationship is coming together here with the Lovers card. And it's like one side is going through a Tower, the other side is going through a Devil in reverse kind of energy, which is so interesting. I feel like here, because what's coming through with the Devil in reverse, you have the Sage. Because this card talks about like wisdom, right? It talks about wisdom, and also being able to use that wisdom in order to like benefit others, or to like, you know, put all the pieces together. I feel like this person though may not be able to do that at the moment. It's kind of like perhaps they're receiving information, or like it's like they're getting snippets, or they have like puzzle pieces, but it feels like they're not able to put them all together yet. It's kind of like it feels very disjointed, or that the information that they're receiving is not, it almost feels like it's hurting them in some way, because you have here the Three of Swords coming out next. This could also be talking about like their there may also be somebody here with the Sage coming up over the Devil in reverse, somebody who is trying to use information against them in some way. So it could be something like gaslighting, or like somebody who's trying to make them doubt the connection, or doubt themselves, or something like that. That's sort of how it's coming through with the Devil in reverse. It's like there could be somebody around them who is trying to use information in order to cause a Three of Swords energy for this one. Like, it's kind of like this one's with the Neptune card, it's sort of like they're going through some sort of like spiritual or mental sort of challenge of having to dismantle this devil energy, whatever that is. So it's kind of like they're in a Three of Swords energy because of this. And it feels like, because the way the cards are coming out here, it's like the Three of Swords, the Devil in reverse, and then the Lovers, where it's kind of like that's because they're focused on this Devil in reverse, whatever that is, they're trying to like puzzle something out. It keeps them from the Lover's energy, or they can't see it, or that it becomes sort of like cloudy, because they're sort of like they're dealing with this energy, if that makes sense. It's like when they're in this energy, they can't see the Lover's energy. But this person on this side, they have the red and white rose, which talks about, again, this sort of energy of like two opposites coming together. This one's specific, but there's no blending. It also talks about like a physical manifestation of a spiritual energy. So it's like they may be receiving spiritual information or spiritual downloads of some sort that is causing them to move in a particular way, or like it's creating perhaps like changes within the physical environment. Could also be related to their body as well, where it's like they're experiencing some sort of significant change, or that they're moving in a different way because of this information that they're receiving, but they might not be able to put it together yet, is kind of how it's coming through. Someone here is receiving like information or like downloads or intuition about either what's next for them, like they're being prepared for it, but it's kind of like they don't understand why that's happening. Like they're not seeing the full picture yet, perhaps. Because what's so interesting here is that they're coming out here with these two cards, the Mickle and Muckle and the Maiden, which are both very childlike energies, which is so fascinating to me. It's like they're coming through with all this childlike energy, which talks about, so this Mickle and Muckle talks about a mixed blessing, and the Maiden talks about like a brand new start. So I feel like maybe this is what they're not, well, it kind of feels like whoever this one is being protected, is how this is coming through, because perhaps there's an energy around them that is a devil in reverse. I don't know why it came out in reverse. I feel like that's just specifying that it's not necessarily their issue, but it's around them. And it's like they're here in this very like childlike or innocent sort of state. I feel like they're but what's so interesting, like what's coming out, because you have these two like very childlike energies, and then underneath this you have 4 major arcanas, which are just like to end the reading, which is like usually tends to happen whenever I use this deck. You have Justice, the Star, Wheel of Fortune, and the Hanged Man. So this is all looking to me like this one here, who's in this energy, is being protected by this energy, whatever this represents, like spiritual energies or the universe, however you want to phrase it. It's like they're being protected from something, right? It's like, I feel like it's like they're going through a healing process, but also, so they're going through a healing process. I feel like there's some sort of, like it's almost like they're in a hanged man position, but not by choice, because there's some sort of Wheel of Fortune energy that's happening for them, is how that's coming through. It's like because it feels like there's a lot of like spiritual energies that are trying to come into this one's experience. But because of this sort of like energy around them that's perhaps affecting their clarity, they can't see the big picture about what it is that they're receiving. It's kind of just like they have a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, but they're not putting them all together yet, is how that's coming through. But it's like I feel like through this process, it's kind of like things just have to play out the way that they're going to play out. Don't resist the flow of this. If this is resonating with you, it's like, just go with the flow. Trust the process. I know that's so frustrating to hear, but it's kind of like if you do try and go against the flow, it's like you will be redirected, is kind of how this is feeling. But you may have to actually try the non-option in order to see whether or not that is actually an option, is kind of how that's coming through. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that resonated with somebody. I hope that helped somebody. I'm gonna leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.